if you know back in the days, it was big in the cars, the speaker like 16 by 9s and all that. And our stuff hit the hardest because imagine Dr. Dre producing all your stuff and imagine a regular local producer producing it. It's gonna sound big. And so if you riding and it's all about the bass, whatever, they barely know what you're saying. If the music sounds good and the bass is good, they gonna buy your stuff.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on the Elation podcast today, where we enjoy exhilarating euphoria through creation and collaboration. We're here with Silkk the Shocker.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you, bud.
Yes, sir.
Long time coming.
Yeah, overdue.
Yeah.
Sure.
We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, we got it right this time.
We've known each other a long time, man. I've seen you go through a lot of things, and I know you've seen me go through my ups and downs, it's good to have you here.
Yep.
But let's tell a little bit about where you're from and what school you were at, and let's go from there. Because, it's always come down to New Orleans what school you went to, right?
Yeah.
And they always mean high school. Nobody means college.
Oh, for sure, high school. all day. It's all about the high schools. I would say I started in New Orleans, born and raised. Went to Richmond, California. Went there for like a year. Then came back to New Orleans, kind of pursued the music just crazy after that point. So school I rep is Fauché and Sarah T. Reed. Yeah, those are my two stumping grounds, People gonna know me, they gonna know I get down.
Well, and before you were in the music, you played basketball, didn't you?
I did play basketball. It's pretty good too.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You were Silkk in many ways.
Yeah, silky smooth.
Silky smooth in many ways. But what happened in basketball?
Well, what's good about it is that I pursued it. I was pretty good at it, but I think...
Didn't you get hurt at some point?
No.
Early on?
No, I didn't get hurt. I kind of just took a break from it, but I was really good to where I kind of got an NBA offer, but when they offered it to me, it was really low. It was like, I think I was making that in one day in the music.
The players weren't making the same money then.
Exactly.
It was back there, But all right, so you decided go to California and start music.
Yeah, we did. Well, we did it here, but it was just a certain type of music here, and then I think we wanted to make like real music, like it was, because I know bounce was in, P-popping was in, all that. So we wanted to make like this kind of Tupac type of music, like where it's like real music, like talking about the neighborhoods, and they wasn't really adapted to that part yet.
Okay.
Right? So we took it to California. Well, we went to California based on just because we had to go, we had to change up sceneries, just a whole bunch of stuff in between that. But going to California was a culture shock. So
I bet.
So the funny thing is, so coming to New Orleans, we represent all the projects, Cali, all those projects and stuff, and it was bad. But when you in it, you don't think it's that bad,
right? So
one day I was like reading, I was always looking at magazines all the time. So I'm like, oh man, California got palm trees, the big old ocean. Oh my God, it's gonna be beautiful. So we looking at California, like, yeah, we can't wait to get to California. Get to California, get to Richmond. It's just like New Orleans. I'm talking about, it's just more poverty than you ever seen.
It's not worse.
It's worse.
It's not worse, right?
Yep, absolutely worse. So,
you know what's funny? And people always, I guess they see racism in different moments. But so for me, I never, because I grew up here, like we were all part of the culture.
Of course.
I had you on my walls on my grade school. You know what I mean? Like this was a part of us. We didn't see different sides. I mean, there was different sides, but we didn't see it in a color sense, I think.
No, for sure.
If we may saw it more in a culture sense.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But not necessarily in a color sense.
Yeah, I agree.
But when I got to LA, I saw the first real racism in my life, like actual, like happening in front of me, and the way things were looked at, where everybody was really pigeonholed in boxes.
Oh yeah.
So it must have been a culture shock for you guys, because it's different, right? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more people out there too.
I didn't really see the racial part. I did see the part. Well, I did see that the color part was different. They did treat you differently. I think out here I was used to it. When I was out there, it was a different kind of
Well, when I
racism.
say the racism that I experienced was from a cop, so
okay,
I don't know if that's like a specific thing, but I remember I got pulled over with a really good friend of mine, Killer B, who now is a multi-Grammy nominated producer, and we were in his little Mercedes like compressor thing with one headlight, because one headlight's out. None of us had any money at the time. We're all still trying to make it. I'm driving with him. He's got one headlight out, but because the headlight's out, he's driving with the high beams on. So we get pulled up. So we pull up behind some cop, and of course the cop pulls us over because he's got the high beams on. And next thing you know, he's out the door having to talk to the cop. They pulling me out the door. The cop is, I'm like, what's the big fucking deal? Like that, like what's going on? And then after like about 45 minutes of conversation, I realized that this is just a racial fucking like we're moving on to a racial deal, you know? So like, and I had never truly experienced that being here. You know, it was just crazy. Cali was a whole different animal.
Yeah. Now it changes.
Big cities are a whole different animal.
It is.
You know?
Yeah, it is.
Because New York's the same way, Cali's the same way. Like in those big cities, like there's just a lot more separation, I think, than we all kind of experience things together, right?
I agree. Yeah, I would say me, I some of it do be racial, but I'm so used to it. I try to bring it down a notch. I don't. Well, we got to think about this too. In this world, you know, you got to be able to distinguish the races if you see it. So that means I know people who see it and get mad. So I don't get mad. I just be like trying to bring it down a notch. So if a cop pull me over, I'm trying to give him every reason to be cool with me instead of bad with me. So I can't say it work all the time, but I know for me, I just try to be.
That's just part of being from the South, man.
Sure,
like we are relaxed more than anything, I think, and I think also understanding your place in life, because I get nervous if I get pulled over by a cop. I can't, it's not like it changes anything, you know. But you know, tell me a little bit about those first moments of releasing those tracks, because you know I know a little bit about the story about you know P and that producer, the guy that had the studio that just kind of allowed him to, what was his name? Kalu, right? Allowed him to kind of come in and because P was persistent, right? And then he was able to get his stuff selling in some of those stores. Tell me what that was like, seeing your brother accomplish all that before you guys kind of, because you guys kind of came on like either during or in that moment or like right after, like he was really kind of moving those, right?
Yeah, we started off as like just trying to stay out of trouble, do something different, and it really was technique and all that, because what we did was everybody was doing music. We had to try to find something that was just to be different. So I think our first time was just trying to do something to kind of mend the time, right? And then we noticed the atmosphere of, like, say, Richmond. We knew already about New Orleans, but Richmond, or the Bay Area in general, it was a void there because everybody was the same. So even though we was different, but sometimes different is better. So we got there, it was like, oh, you country, because we sounded country.
From New Orleans to California, we sound country.
Yeah, so they was like, I think he had gold teeth or something, whatever. And but, you know, they were dissing us in the beginning of that. But then when we established our sound, they wanted that because they wanted it to kind of clash together. So it actually worked out because I think what we did better than anybody else, our work ethic was crazy. So even though we wasn't good, I wouldn't even say we was good at rapping. We would just outwork everybody. So we'd be like, for chicken, piece of chicken, we come perform. So everybody sleep, we up. You know what I'm saying? We doing music. You in front of
everybody's face.
Yeah. And so even K-Lou was like Dr. Dre to us. They had whole bunch of producers, but K-Lou was like the guy who had all the mixing equipment. He had all stuff that came out before everybody else came out, and he knew how to use it. So what separated us was the ability to not out-rap everybody. But if you know, back in the days, it was big in the cars, your speaker, like 16 by 9s and all that. And our stuff hit the hardest because imagine Dr. Dre producing all your stuff, and imagine a regular local producer producing it. It's gonna sound big. And so if you riding, and it's all about the bass. If whatever they barely know what you're saying. If the music sounds good and the bass is good, they're gonna buy your stuff. So that's what made us sell the most because
that's crazy you say that because it definitely was and I was a little later in that, but at the same time, my first sound system was some of the most influential music that I've listened to in my life, and you definitely were on that table for me. So I get that, and I can say it was early days of car audio.
Okay.
And I guess that type of listening when you guys were coming up, right? I mean, because car audio, people weren't thinking about putting subs in cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Too long before then.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. No,
so it's probably kind of early on with that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so was that part of you guys' process? Like when you guys were approaching music, like let me give them an anthem instead of a lyrical like poem?
Something like that. It was more like, what do they don't have? So let's say if Dave always eats chicken, at some point in time you got to switch up. So you might say, I want shrimp this time. So everybody's keep giving you chicken. The shrimp is gonna taste a lot better, better if I bring it to you. So you're gonna buy that because you already bought chicken. Now I brought you something else, fish, whatever. So our goal was supply the demand when the demand was there. So if you think about it, we wasn't trying to outdo them. We was just trying to outthink them.
Right.
So if you outthink them, and that's how I kind of live life now.
I will say this. There isn't anything I could buy that was close to the timing of the Silkk the Shocker verse.
I like it. I like that.
I mean,
I like that.
You fit in the most awkward moments of the beat that most people would be completely silent on.
So let me explain that to you. So before I'm not saying this, but people who I know are really good at music would say stuff like, "Oh, you before your time," whatever, right? Like I had some pioneers that told me that. So basically, everybody thought that I was rapping off beat, right? But I never was rapping off beat. If you go back, listen, I was rapping on key, but I did it by design. So why I did it by design? Because because we have good marketing. I wanted you to say I was bad at rapping. I wasn't bad at rapping. If you play it back, I was actually really good at rapping. I just wanted you to think that. Because
this is a different time apart, but I'll be honest with you, because knowing you for so long, you talk like that.
I do.
I
do. I guess I do.
You talk offbeat, like you say a couple things slow and then you go fat, and then you finish the sentence. Like you talk in that dynamic. Yeah. So honestly, when I like listening to your music and growing up with music, and then meeting you and talking to you, I understand what's going on because you kind of talk like that.
But also, not even talk. I think
so. It's natural.
But I think like that.
Right.
So I think stutter pace to be creative. So even when I write, I think I'm one of the best writers in the world. But I don't write that much. But when I do write, I'm definitely way up there. So I just started writing this year, like scripts, movies, all that, and people read it. They're like, "Yo, this is insane." But if you think about it, before Charge Again.
Time out. I think you're a good writer because you're a good listener. But
I'll take that.
Because you definitely listen a lot more than you speak.
I'll take that.
Which is why you don't do a whole lot of these interviews.
I don't do none of them.
You know,
my boy, I got you.
But keep going. Yeah.
No, but so I'm testing this theory this year. Is like, because I actually write, and so when I write, I just feel like nobody can outdo it. But now you got to also write, but you also got to do as well. So for me, before Made Man, or Charge Again Made Man, before Made Man, I never picked up a pen for none of my music. You know what I'm saying? So I might jot down a word or two, but I actually would never write. So everything was in my head to where I made the story fit. So all the music I've made, but I'm learning now that I'm not saying it's better, but I'm saying that is something unique about writing for perfection or greater, right? So I'm not saying my music gonna outsell my old music because that was a time period where we had built something. Now I just do it because I want to. It adds on to the legacy, and I think I'm super good at it. Whoever think I'm not, that's just on you guys. But I'm actually making it for myself, and if you're around, you enjoy the ride. But
Yeah, well, it was something you've done since you were a kid, so you know
yeah.
it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, let's stick a little bit about what you guys used to do because you know you guys didn't only do music, you did movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me about what was the first movie you guys filmed and like independently, which you know.
I want to say Hot Boys. No, not Hot Boys. We did About It first.
About It, right? That was first, right?
Yeah,
and then he did the Make Him Say on Video, which was basically a movie.
Basic movie, yeah. Sure.
Which was still the craziest movie.
Yeah,
I mean, straight. Cause, I mean, like I literally, and I was just telling Fiend this. I literally remember the moment I was sitting on the sofa watching the video for the first time. Where was that? Like the time of day. Like it was just crazy watching that video.
Yeah, for sure.
But one thing I think I've always given you shit for was the Hot Boys intro scene.
Oh yeah, the long one.
That is the longest car chase I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the Hot Boys. Well, like, what was going on?
Well, that's our kind of second establishment of movies. So when we got the director, they were known for action scenes. So they wanted to draw it out like that. And so
it's the longest damn chase scene I've ever seen in my life. Exactly. You are definitely running.
For a while too.
You definitely running. But what was your best moment in that film? Like what do you feel like was fun in that film that you did?
I had fun in it, man. You know what, the one that was really good was Gary Busey, because he gave me a lot of pointers. And then me doing karate was good, like because I'm a black belt too. So, well, I don't tell nobody that, but I'm a black belt. But
that's why you walk around by yourself.
Yeah. But so Gary Busey, at that time he was one of the top actors, and we was able to get him along with a couple other people. You know, Snoop was in it. I think everybody, Fiend, everybody. Nothing Fiend, but everybody was in it, and it was good because it was one of those projects that took everybody to be a part of, and I think to this day it's still a classic.
Right.
So it was good. And then, Gary Busey gave me so many pointers on being a real actor, and he took his time to like really make sure I was good at it. So that was dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, tell me about I got the hookup. Like, what was I feel like that was a very cultural movie. Like it was very it was very influential and a lot of people's cultures, but mine and a lot of people's, you know, from that same age group. What how did you when you read that script and you read that moment, how did you feel about it? Did you know right away that it was going to be a little bit bigger than the rest, or because I feel like that one's the one that connected with people.
I think between that and Hot Boys was really connecting. That one was good because it was comedy too, and
well, that was the thing. I think you know the comedy came out of it. I think it lightened the heart of a lot of that those moments.
For sure. Yeah, it was. Oh my! I thought I cut this off.
Silkk the Shocker. not Silk with your phone. I guess.
I cut it up, but no, I think it was a comedy. It was light, and I think it was something that we never did before. And I think people related to it. They can see like, the phones, you know, selling phones and stuff like that. So I think it was really good.
That was right on cue. We might as well use that.
Yeah.
I got the hookup. We got the phone calls.
Yeah.
You know, he's calling for the hookup.
Yeah.
No, that's funny,
That was actually
man.
Matt calling, which is
That
funny.
was Matt. That's funny. We should have answered that.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Cash Money No Limit stuff. Because, you know, one thing, especially since this past weekend, which we can say, I feel like did the city a little bit of healing.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know if it was necessary because of how long the gap span, but at the same time, just being able to see that moment was very, very special.
Yeah.
But I give a lot of credit to your brother and Brian, baby, aka Baby. That they never like clashed where it was angry. And there may have been some moments where it was tension and y'all were going back and forth with some of the songs. And Thug Life or what was it, Thug Girl, and I don't the Hot Girl, like there may have been some back and forths, but there was never a moment where we as fans, I felt y'all hated each other.
Nah, I mean, I think it was mutual respect. I don't think we ever got into the point where it was really any problems. I think that it was two like mega
It's two mountains,
just like, and so I salute them guys. I mean, I know all of them, and so I think the people outside really couldn't understand how if two like mountains could really coexist, but they could, and so they did a lot for the city. We did a lot for the city.
I think you did a lot for everything in the culture, like to show that you don't have to, like, you can compete and don't have to be violent. And you don't have to be hateful, and you can compete in the same city, both make money, both grow up, both have different sections, but I'm a fan of both Cash Money and No Limit. I didn't pick sides, and I think most people didn't. And I think that was what was great though about the city is we listened to both sides. We respected both sides for what they both were.
I think at the most of it, we kept it that way for competitiveness. So, because I seen Wayne one day, and me and Wayne looking at each other, I'm looking at him. It's really no problem, but none of us said anything to each other. But we kept it that way, like mutually. But we didn't say like. We didn't want to squash the drama because we was like,
no,
it's fun.
The drama was part of the competition.
It's fun. But nah, them guys are good. Like I just seen Turk. I talked to him, whatever. So cool.
No. You just did the little interview for Hot Boys Reunion. Situation. So no, it was great seeing your brother on stage, giving that award to Lil Wayne, and
And what's dope about it is, I came in you was there too, but I came in low key. And I was actually there to just watch it outside looking in. Like, I'm proud of them, proud of the whole Hot Boys coming together, the big timers, all that stuff together on stage was just good for me to see because we've done it. So I just wanted to look at it from, and to be honest, I am a fan of the movement and what they've done for the culture and stuff like that. So, and what they've done just for the music business in general. So I just looked at it. It was actually really good to see all those guys, Juvie, Wayne,
come together,
and it was dope. So I salute that. So it's never really been a problem for me, with none of them, and it'll never be because I think we all men, we ain't about trying to really do nothing to like each other. We always competitively felt like I ain't gotta say nothing. You know what it is.
Yeah.
But now that we grown, we all got it. We ain't tripping on that stuff.
No, that's awesome, man. No, and it's good for everybody to see that. Well, let's talk a little bit. I mean, we're kind of down that road. Let's talk a little bit about your brother Kevin.
Yep.
I don't know if a whole lot of people know the whole story, but why don't you tell a little bit about the story and what kind of happened?
With Kevin, man, that's our brother. But the thing about it was Kevin was a little bit different. He was like a little bit before his time too. He was just like in those times. I didn't understand it back then, but I understand it now. Where Kevin was like organized, neat free, get his money, hustle, do what he do, whatever. Just like play basketball, like, and was really like a brother that was just would try to do whatever for all of his parents, siblings, whatever. So just a solid dude. But I think
age-wise,
he's under P.
He was right under P?
Yeah. So,
okay.
But I mean, with him, man, he was solid. He just mature beyond belief. And then, but I think what happened with him was, we can't see certain stuff when we coming up. So it's like somebody's trying to capture you. If you don't know they're trying to capture you, you get captured, right? So I think Kev had a good heart, and I think with him, it was the same stuff that happens in every generation, where it's you got to deal. And I tell my people all the time, like I'm a dad too, so right. So nothing changes. You as a dad, you can go back and say, because your mom and dad, I met your mom, very lovely lady.
Yep.
and so, but what you would say is, Mom, or your dad, well, you ain't, my life is so much different than yours, but it's not. It's the same exact thing. Although technology might change. I remember when we was growing up, we didn't have cell phones. We had to come to the girl house and ask for to take her out. But it's the same thing. It was relationships, pregnancies, peer pressure, bullying, whatever it was. It never changes through the time.
Right.
So now, because guess what? So my brother got killed. One of his best friends set him up, drove him. I'm sure in his mind he didn't think he was gonna get killed. So they picked him up. Boom. His best friend picks him up. So his best friend is his best friend. So we know that betrayal always happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure he ain't think that betrayal would happen where he wouldn't make it home. So they driving, and then as they driving, they shot him in the back of the head a couple times and dumped his body. Reason why, I don't have a clue. It could have been jealousy, could have been money, but it wasn't big enough to kill somebody. But that's been happening from generation to generation. So that won't ever change. And
so there was no real reason that was like kind of like motivation that was.
Well, I would say this will happen. So I'm sure the guy who was beefing with him had a problem with him. Could have been, you look better. You got more girls than me. Could have been, you got more money than me.
But was Kevin in the streets at all?
No, not really. No, he wasn't. He probably he ain't really was in the streets like that. I would say typical, probably hustling a little bit. Nothing like that.
Nothing willing to do for that.
No. It's probably because Kevin's a hustler. Like he'll get little money. But he had a girlfriend, he had relationship stuff, so he was just like that. But even if you're doing that, it's jealousy. It's a lot of stuff that if you don't know about it, it happens. So people die all the time, right? So, if you don't because I didn't know about death, even though I saw it until my grandfather died. I'm like, hold on, my grandfather ain't coming back? That's crazy. Even though I saw death, I thought they was gonna get up and walk. But when I really realized that death was real, it was when my brother got killed, because they came to my school like, yo, Kev got killed, and I was like, what do you mean by he got killed? Like I'm like, what do you mean? And it was like, he's dead. So I'm like, well, so that means we're going to the hospital and check on him. Like there's like so I didn't know until I seen him in the funeral, and I'm like, hold up, so this happens where my brother ain't never coming back. Oh, that's crazy. So I went kind of off after that. I was like, but I didn't know. I knew when I was in the project, people was getting killed, but it wasn't my people. So I didn't really, I thought it was,
you finally attached, it attached to yourself at that moment.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so I was like, wow. And then that was it. And then once I realized that, because that's what I'm saying, because I was walking through the project like I'm invincible with all the hitters and all that, right? Because I'm thinking like, yeah, what's going to happen? Nothing. I'm beef with the other side, all that. And I'm thinking like, yeah, they getting hurt. But then it hit, and once I hit, I was like, oh, that's a real thing. So I'm sure Kevin probably didn't know it was a real thing or did, but for somebody to pick, so the guy who picks him up, who in the back seat, is somebody he don't like, but he still got in the car, probably thinking like, this dude ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's how it happened. So
that's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Well, rest in peace to Kevin.
Yeah, rest in peace, Kevin. Actually, the thing about it was, that was when we made that song, I Miss My Homies, right? That was ended up being one of our biggest songs in the world.
But well, because it was, people felt that. That was real. Everybody felt that. I mean, I definitely, that was a very emotional time. Mm-hmm. But and I want to get out of the negative kind of, talk in a minute, but at the same time, let's talk a little bit about C. Mm-hmm. Because we all love C, but that didn't end up well either.
Yeah, C is, when all of us, especially, C as well is a good dude, good hearted. You once again, like Kev, it's like you just trying to do your best, right? So, you from here.
Well, let's just say before, if anybody doesn't know, C Murder didn't get his name because of the streets. C Murder got his name because he was an Army corpsman,
warrior.
and that's what he saw. He saw murder, and he was helping people in the Army. So let's just start there. So C Murder is that C Murder.
Yeah.
Now let's move forward to conversation.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. It's like C is a real guy, and let's say the streets love him, right? So let's say that. So he's gonna find himself in the street representing the street. Maybe he should have been at home a little bit more, but they love him in the street, not for doing street stuff, but just because the streets loved him. And so just for him, wrong place, wrong time. Because here's the bottom line. That kind of is bothersome to me is that I got all the paperwork, I followed it, I was there, and he really didn't do it. So that's always the worst part is that if he did it as a brother, I would be more like, yeah, you got to do the time. You know what I'm saying? I'll get some on your books, but the fact that he's still there and he didn't do it is problematic because we're in a city where a lot of the young men have been taken. Some did, some not. But for this part, it's tough because I think, like the people said, if he was anywhere else, that wouldn't even went to trial because the evidence is lack. But they just took him out because his name. They just said his name. So,
well, let me ask you this question because it's if I look back on the history of you guys and Cash Money, you've got C Murder in jail 20 plus years, didn't do it. You've got Mac in jail 20 plus years, didn't do it. Right?
Tough, yeah.
Where's the Cash Money artist that's in jail that hadn't done it?
Well, what you mean?
Do you think at some point the police were targeting No Limit more than Cash Money? Because if you look at it, I mean, everybody that I know went to jail for Cash Money actually did the time. Actually did it. I don't know anybody that's from Cash Money that's been in jail for any extended amount of time that's innocent.
I wouldn't say so much of that. I would say just probably coincidence that I don't think they did. Well, listen,
you think maybe the music was different and maybe that's what it was? Because y'all were a little more gangster. Like they were a little more party involved.
I just think they probably stayed out the way. I think like with Mac, he got himself. I think he went to jail in Slidell or somewhere. So that's a difference than New Orleans.
That's true.
So
that's true.
So
all right. You got that. Yeah. No, there's definitely that. I mean, I guess
see with Jefferson Parish.
Jefferson Parish, yeah. But it just seems to me like if you look back, like I don't see the same judgment. You know, and it also could have come from the names. Honestly, I mean, it really could have. But anyway, I don't know. I just always thought that was a question because I don't see any Cash Money artists that are in jail for nothing.
Oh well, yeah, that's but I don't think that was. I think because
did Pete piss anybody off at the sheriff's office? Did Harry Lee hate him that much?
Harry hate everybody, but I don't think it was that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I was growing up just kind of walking the walk and just. We took whatever, like it could have been, like I look at it like this in life where C could have not been at that club that night, could have never went to jail for no amount of time.
Right.
Max could have stayed home, but you can't say if or would have. You just living your life, and sometimes you might run into a problem just at a certain time. Maybe Cash Money just missed everything.
Well, P always kind of had an issue with all club appearances, didn't he? At some point when he all got famous, P didn't really like doing club stuff. Yeah, well,
he stayed out. Unless he was getting paid for it, but that was pretty much it. Yeah.
But I mean, but I feel like like in a good way, he stayed away from doing some of those club scenes because they were dangerous.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess we can move on. But I know Monica tried to help C recently. We'll talk about a little bit about that situation.
I think like Monica genuinely cares. Genuinely want to see him out. Together, not together. I think she really cares about him, and she knows that he's innocent as well. Dealt a bad hand, and I know Monica. She's solid people. She really wants to see him out because she has a relationship with his kids too, and that's tough to have your dad go to jail when you're born and then you don't see him till you're in college, which is tough. So I think Monica, she did something that was really good. She put a good group of people around to get him out. He got close. I know Kim Kardashian was in it. I know
Right.
Jessica Jackson. He has some really powerful people that was in his corner. So yeah, but I don't know what happened. I think they're still trying to get him out. Like I say, we're in a place where it's tough to overturn that thing and get it going. But I think he's gonna come home though for sure.
Yeah, we're good. Maybe we'll get Trump to pardon him.
Yeah, please hope, man. I definitely want to see him home with his family, man. He deserves it.
I keep hearing he's a good man, so we want to see him home for that. But anyway, let's move on to the No Limit reunion tour. How much fun was that? What was it like getting back on stage with everybody?
Well, you have a little part to do with that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, something to do with that.
Now it was good because they was trying to do it for quite a while, and then I think just from the respect and love from all the artists, I was able to pull it together. Because I really wanted to do it for because I really have a lot of love for all the artists. I think like from the Miz and Fiends and Max, and well, Max wasn't home yet, but Mystical, all those guys was always solid with me, right? And so I just felt like just giving them they shine, they flowers, and I also we never really had a chance to really bond and have times. So I just wanted to make some moments where we do it together, and it was good. It was really good. It was tougher because it was personal.
Mm-hmm.
So I sometimes I over kind of did it on my part because I wanted to make everything good for them because it was personal. They're all like considered family and friends. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Shout out Mike. What's going on with Mystical, man?
Hopefully, we have to let that play out. I don't want to say too much about that. I know he's still fighting his case. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, man, what a shame because we were on a roll.
Talented, man. Yeah.
We were on a roll, and I love Mike.
Yeah,
I love Mike. What a great guy.
Yeah,
he met my girl the first time, and he goes to open the door and goes, "Watch yourself!" And I lost everything.
That's Mike.
Yeah, that's Mike. That's Mike for sure. But so let's talk a little bit about your brother, a little bit about Pete. I know you're a marketing genius in your own right, and I feel like he's also a marketing genius. Mm-hmm. But what do you think? What was the marketing play of bringing Snoop Dogg into the mix?
Because
that was one of the greatest free agent signings of rap music.
Like I say, I think it's all timing. Once you get that Snoop Dogg is coming up as a free agent, you gotta do whatever it takes to get him.
But nobody was willing to call Suge. Right? That's kind of the story, right? Pete was the only one that was willing to call and give him the way it's going to be.
I wasn't part of that conversation, but I would say that we got him. It had to be hard to get him. I'm sure Suge probably didn't want to just let him go. But I was glad to have him. Snoop was solid. Super.
It just shows the respect, I guess, your brother carried, right? Because Suge was not an easy guy to talk to.
Yeah. But I think he's a fair guy to talk to, though. Seemed like he was fair. Because he let him go. So
that's the thing. I guess he didn't make the transition horrible. He made it easy in a sense. Mm-hmm. But what was it like getting Snoop in? Like, what was it like in the studio? Like, did the energy change?
Nah, Snoop was solid, man. Snoop was by the house all the time. He made it really easy to interact with him. He'd do anything for you. He's always been solid, man. If you ask him for something, we always been cool, man. He gave me a lot of knowledge and wisdom.
Well, I can know it. I know he loves you. A couple times I've been around you and him. I can tell he loves you. Nice. So, but did it change some of the competition in the studio?
Yeah, well, we always competitive. So
always were competitive, but like bringing a guy like that in, did it change the dynamics?
Well, Snoop made it easy because it wasn't a competition for him. It was like pull everybody up. And so he just put his best work out. We put our best work out. And Snoop would be the type of person where it could be a song that's completed and done and he don't need you, but he'll still bring you in there and put you on a song because it wasn't competitive to him. It was like a no limit family. And for him, he didn't step on nobody's toes. He made the transition to embrace him very easy.
I got you.
Yeah, very easy for sure.
Awesome. Well, that's. I mean, I guess it's what professionals do.
Yeah,
right.
Very professional. Yeah.
They make everybody else feel professional around them, right? Or feel good around them. You know, and I know we had touched on this a little bit before, but with the filming, but what was it like being on the ground floor for some of the first independent films in the South? Because even Snoop Dogg enjoyed some of that, right? Because he would play part of some of those movies, right? But what was the like? How did it feel stamping? Like we are the first to do this.
It was good. Like I said, we was always groundbreaking, transcending. Like that's what made us who we were, to outthink or go past what everybody else is doing. And that was just the same thing. Like even to this day, that's so people look at marketing. Everybody think they can market, right? But everybody can't market. Everybody can't brand. So the thing is, because it changes. But see me, I live it like I'm gonna always be okay in that department because I always change with the time. Some people want to keep cassette tapes, but you have to change. They're doing MP3 streaming now. So if you don't change with the time, consider yourself, that don't make you a genius. That makes you want to be stuck in the same place. I personally always trying to figure out the next step. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do it. But
I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, next step. Let's talk about next step.
me, you taking over the world.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Elation Shocker world, right?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Family, kids, growing up.
Yeah, it's going fast.
Where are they at right now? You got one in LSU basketball, right?
Yeah. About to have another one there too. My other son gonna be going to San Diego. Then yes, I just listen.
So they all have NBA aspirations?
Nah. My daughter, she's gonna be a lawyer.
Okay.
But yeah, the kids, like, that's what we do this for. I try to keep my personal life out of the spotlight as much as I can.
I know.
But I got my kids are great. And I just try to be an example for them, so because I didn't have a lot of examples when I was coming up. So just want to see them best. I'm going to be there to kind of bridge that. But yeah, it's about the kids. You got your kids. It's definitely
yeah, absolutely. And I got two boys, so maybe I'll be a sports agent when I retire. But how do you feel about these NIL deals? Like
yeah, I like it. I mean,
you feel like it's warranted?
Yeah, I think so, because you got to think about some of these schools are getting so much money, man, and some of these kids be eating top ramen and barely can make it. Their parents back home can't, gotta send money. So
but they're performing in front of 20,000 people.
Yeah, for sure. And so for me, that's the thing. I'm into the sports stuff now. I know one day, I'm not gonna tell you this, but one day I'm gonna have a job in the NBA. I already got offered one of them, but it's funny because I got offered coaching jobs in college, which is funny. But I am a good coach. I'm a good trainer. That's how my kids, I think they're good, because I actually know how about the sports world. All my friends, they play football, basketball, baseball, and we just talk about it. I mean, I got some of my friends, teams called me to sign some of my friends. So I love that part of it. One day I'm going to, I've been studying it. So one day I believe I'm going to have a job in the NBA for sure. I could have came and got one already, but I think it was too demanding at the time. But
sports agent right now, at this point, with all the kids getting deals, I think it's probably one of the bigger things to move into. But anyway, let me ask you. We're at Elation right now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Elation?
I love Elations, and it's somewhat like a partnership to me and you.
Absolutely.
I've been knowing you a long time, and I'm very proud of you for consistently believing in it. I know sometimes up and downs. I know you had other places, But I think you finally hit your niche. I think next year gonna be one of your biggest years. I'm definitely here to help you any kind of way I can, and I think I see the vision. I think the world's gonna see the vision. I think I look forward to you taking Elations from here to expanding it, because I think you got a lot. I mean, you already know how the music business go. I think you're passionate about it, and I like that when you see your vision, you make it come to life.
Yeah.
All this stuff is like I was here when it was just a building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And piece by piece, brick by brick.
You were there when it was my apartment in LA.
Yeah.
You were there when I was renting a spot on Burbank Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been there for the whole time. You've
sure.
seen the whole vision. I mean,
For
you've literally seen. Well, you didn't see my first studio I built was in Florida, but but you've seen everything since. So I appreciate that because it's it takes and shout out to Bobby because you remember Bobby.
Oh yeah, Bobby,
but he created a logo that I was able to believe in for my life.
Yeah, for sure.
And that there's so much power in that. The tank, something that you could you can believe in, you can push, you can strive for.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that because it definitely takes a lot to stay in course.
Well, especially now. I mean, I like the team you got around you. I like that you're creating content. You're marketing the brand, and then for me, that I'm here now. I look forward to just constantly putting something together with you to expand it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I think that because you open, one thing I like about you is that if you believe in something, you're gonna do whatever it takes to make it happen. Right? It's like it's not even financial. It's like, but if it's financial, if you see it, you're going to
figure out a way to make it work.
Figure it out. And that's the part I said, I want to be more a part of that because I want you to be successful. Like you want me to be successful. So
I appreciate it. You don't score unless you throw a touchdown pass.
I like that.
Right?
I like that.
You don't score unless you throw a touchdown pass. Or in Jaden Daniels' part, a Hail Mary pass. But we'll go from there. We'll go from there. Mm-hmm. Well, awesome. Well, what brings elation to you in your life? Because I define elation as peak happiness.
Okay.
So what brings elation to you?
What does it mean to me, you think?
Yeah, what? So when you sit down the other day and you're like, what would make me the happiest to not even have to worry about tomorrow? Like, what would be that?
That's good. So for me, I think this is a new atmosphere for me, being beyond successful, right? So that means if I wanted to create something, I could create it. I wanted to make something, I could make it, having no worries about anything but actually doing it, right? Like we want to fly to Florida, right? We can do it. So I think all that is embodied in what that means to me. Like I said with you, sometimes inviting me to your life, vice versa. And so that's going to be something that brings happiness to me too. Just me watching you have your kids and I'm there for them. Just a family vibe, family atmosphere, and us being beyond successful is what that is to me.
Awesome, awesome, man. Yeah, time with the right people.
Time for sure. Yeah.
Yep. Right. And like I said, if we make money together, our kids make money together.
For sure,
right.
100%. I would tell him this story. I think I was by you. We just gonna say Florida. We ain't gonna say where we was at. And I think we come out the restaurant and Michael Jordan is sitting there like a regular person. He's like literally, I'm like, is that Michael Jordan? You like, yeah, that's Michael Jordan. I'm like, nobody's bothering us. It's so funny. But it feels crazy that we have these stories that you took me out, whatever, on the boat and stuff was funny. But so for me, having these type of stories, like you say, we making money together, our kids making money, and we're building that wealth gap. I love that part. Yeah,
awesome, man. Awesome, man. Well, great. Well, that brings elation to me too. So that's awesome. Well, great. Well, please tell everybody your socials, where they can find your music, where they can find you at, and talk to you in the future.
It's your boy Silkk the Shocker, man. I think everything is Silkk the Shocker. I think official Silkk the Shocker's Facebook, but follow me anywhere, man. I got y'all. We gonna stay locked in. It's my guy right here. We gonna definitely turn up and salute. Let's go.
Awesome, man. Sounds good. Well, thank you guys for joining us today on the Elation Podcast. Please follow, like, subscribe if you would like any more content like this. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.